Volvo Ocean Race is basically the most challenging team sport out there. It's a marathon that races all the way around the world. It takes 9 months. It really tests your ability as an individual and as a team, both physically and mentally. It attracts the best sailors. A few people that have won it, and it's a life goal for a lot of us. I feel really fortunate to be a part of it.
This is the start of the Volvo Ocean Race.
This whole process of creating this team in the Volvo Ocean Race really began during the last Volvo Ocean Race.
Something that became glaringly apparent to both Mark and myself, was the amount of marine debris that we encountered. And that was really our introduction to 11th hour racing. From there, we became, ocean ambassadors.
Really felt strongly that we should try to do this race again to bring awareness to this issue that we care so much about. So we were really fortunate to partner with 11th Hour Racing in 2015, and that's what led us to the partnership with Vestas.
And the synergy that existed there was really what got this team off the ground.
Being part of Vestas 11th Hour Racing, being a part of this Volvo Ocean Race is an amazing opportunity to represent sustainability for sailing as a sport.
When we started 11th Hour Racing back in 2010, it was with this idea that you could use sport as a platform for reaching people and educating them by example. That naturally folds into the way we think of the ocean when we're sailors, but fundamentally, we have to care about its health. Getting that message out there through sport reaches so many people.
When I first joined the team, one of our first activities as a group, we went to Cambridge in the UK, visited the British Antarctic Survey.
I found it absolutely fascinating meeting the scientists. He drilled into the ice, checking out the CO2 within those ice samples and being able to graph that over time, absolutely fascinating. That was the most interesting part of it. The other part was all the plastics in the ocean. I really had no idea that was happening.
We have a sustainability plan that really outlines and kind of governs our actions on a daily basis. Taking everything into consideration from, what we eat, where we stay, our travel, not using any single-use plastics. We're tracking our carbon footprint as we go through the race. So I think we will prove that you can be successful in sport and at the same time be good environmental stewards. Leg 2, the first real long ocean leg from Lisbon to Cape Town. Really enjoyable leg, a lot of downwind sailing.
The part of the sustainability plan that resonates most with me is probably the local grant activations, because there's a lot of due diligence that goes into selecting, who those grantees are. We know when this whole circus, this roadshow packs up, we've left something impactful behind.
In Cape Town, dealing with a massive drought, and we worked with folks that are, working on watershed issues. Try to use this platform and our team as a way to highlight that work. Leg 3, Cape Town to Melbourne, very, very windy Southern Ocean leg.
Given the misfortunes in Hong Kong, we had a lot of work to do. All of our vendors and supporters were already aware of our mission, be as sustainable as possible. We were able to recycle offcuts of the overall piece that was built in Italy. Raw materials that didn't get used, we were able to recycle in giving them to some local boat builders.
That was kind of a pivotal point in the campaign.
11th Hour Racing has been doing an activation grant at every stopover. I actually put forward a recipient who was Dr. Ingrid Visser of the Orca Research Trust.
From my research, we've found that orca have the highest levels of toxins in their body for any animal that's ever been studied in the Southern Hemisphere.
As soon as the race is over, I'm going home back to do some changes around, plant out around the stream, try and sort out the filtration, make sure that doesn't get into the stream and create a problem further downriver.
leg that defines the Volvo Ocean Race as you leave New Zealand and sail into the Southern Ocean around Cape Horn and up to Brazil.
We fought hard through 12, grueling Southern Ocean days to round Cape Horn in second place. In an instant, everything changed. I was in my my bunk, having just come off a watch an hour earlier.
Is everybody in a safe place back there?
Our hopes for a successful leg were dashed.
The situation turned salvation mode to preservation mode quite quickly. The mast was starting to bang into the hull, because if we ended up with a hole in the boat, then we'd all of a sudden be compromising the safety of the crew. So we had to cut the rig away.
But it was the only option at the time.
Fortunate in that we were only 100 miles from the Falkland Islands, so the clock was ticking. The guys did an unbelievable job turning what was a lamp post that then became a mast. And they did an unbelievable job at getting the boat here with the jury rig.
I think we arrived with an extra day in spare, which meant that the boat was able to put in a new rig and ultimately start the next leg, the most important one in some ways, to our home port, Newport. So that was a critical part of the project.
I was privileged enough to go to a turtle sanctuary in Brazil where they received the grant. They're rescued from the wild when they're injured or unwell, and the majority of these turtles, whether they have another injury or not, their stomachs are full of plastic.
And that means they can't swim, they can't dive for their food. They will eventually die from thinking they're full of plastic.
Leg 8, Brazil to Newport, the homecoming leg for our team. And I think something that we were really looking forward to, again, just after an unbelievable effort by the entire team to get the boat back in the water, get a new mast, and rejoin the race.
Whilst our dreams of a podium have slowly slipped away, I think we're still racing as hard as we can and really trying to finish this race on a high note.
And what an unbelievable welcome into Newport and into our hometown.
Leaving a legacy, a large part of that is the education program, and that has had a huge impact, increasing outreach of the Volvo Ocean Race by thousands.
The standpoint of being one of the leaders of the team, it's a real opportunity and a responsibility to demonstrate and show that these things really do matter to us.
Leg 9 was the transatlantic to Cardiff. We were a little bit behind when it came to some of the boat speed elements.
The sustainability activation in Cardiff with Tony Juniper. Almost 12 months ago we met him for the first time in Cambridge. Now, being so heavily involved in sustainability and looking at all the options available, it gives me hope and gives hope for my kids, and it's pretty nice to have that added extra in our family from doing a project like this.
Vestas 11th hour racing finish 5th in the overall leaderboard.
I think we have a lot to be proud of, and I know that the team still holds their head high.
It's fantastic to be in a team where everyone's showing such strength and resilience, even in the moments of real adversity. A great opportunity for personal development, whether it's within yourself or together with a team, and I think that's been a real strength of this campaign.
We now have the footprints of our waste footprint, our carbon footprint and our water footprint. So we will compensate for that using blue carbon. Now this is a sequestering carbon rather than on a terrestrial project where we might be planting trees. Next time and going forward to future races, we can better it. We're not the same people that we were 12 months ago. We're all going away again, changed people, and certainly for the better.
We've reached the end of how much waste the world can absorb. This is a movement I don't think it will stop. We're living in a revolution.